But again, the chances of being hit is much, much greater. And again, if it gives the pullback, like for example, if you're taking this target, same thing, you're not taking the low out, or you don't want to take the low out, you place it in the mitigation. Boom. Instant hit, you're out of the trade, and not like 2 hours have to hold this trade just to get one or more for 2 hours worth of time. No, right? It's a better way to actually place at mitigation. Again, for the medium ones, you can switch around. Again, yeah, medium ones, okay, perfect. Maybe they take out the liquidity, perfect. That's a good way to do it, but sometimes it's just not worth it, right? And if you struggle, again, probably everyone had this situation. Again, Mispa probably can sing a song about that. When he trades, or like whatever, like maybe a lot of people as well, right? Having a target, then obviously the price comes, not takes it out directly, and then pulls back a lot, and you just literally gave back 50% of your whole trade just holding this trade. And obviously then it comes back eventually 2 hours later, and you just hold it this trade, wreck your nerves for 2 hours just to get one risk more. Is that worth it? No. Again, a lot of times way better to place it in the mitigation area. Boom. And even if it takes it out later, perfect, but you're out anyways. So mix it up. So there's always some rules. So first of all, you have to understand target is the right target is as important as the right entry. And you have to choose your style. If you want to trade aggressive, perfectly fine, do it. If you want to trade passive, perfectly fine, do it. Obviously, it's your personal preference of what you want to do. The only rule though, do not aim for the fences. We see a lot of you guys taking absolute beautiful Mona Lisa trades and then having the wrong target. You just aim for like a 4-hour high to get taken out. Like, why not aim for 1 to 10 or something like that instead, right? But it's not worth aiming for 1 to 50 if a logical target would be 1 to 10 and then you're getting a break even. Like, why? Right? And the better way is even to take partials based on mixing both ways, right? So let's say you want to take the aggressive one, okay, but you're not quite sure. What's better? To say, okay, let's say you want to take 100% of your position off, you want full close it at the aggressive way. Why you don't do this, right? So, okay, why not do as followed? So instead of closing 100% here, why not saying, okay, I'm closing 50% here with the passive way and the rest of the position 50% in here, right? The difference of this to this is again, literally 1 R, but at least you're paying yourself 50% in here and not waiting that maybe price reacts from this zone and then pulls back and you, oh shit. Now, oh my God, I'm in struggle because like now price pulls back and maybe then hits it. But again, you wasted 2 hours of your time not getting paid, and maybe you chicken out in here, get sweaty hands, and then close the position because you freak out, right? Or even worse, it takes you out of break even. And then you bite yours because, again, you technically had a 1 to 9, but you aimed for 1 to 10, and it didn't give you the 1 to 10, and break even. Fucking hell, right? Should not happen. So again, try to do follows, right? 50% of the passive way, 50% of the aggressive way. Done. Boom. You will not complain about a 50% close with 1 to 9, and then the rest of the 50% getting close with 1 to 10, right? Same thing in here, right? Close 50% here if you want to go for the maximum, and then trace the rest of the 50% of the aggressive one. But guess what? Even here, boom, 50% closed, you paid yourself, price pulls back, whatever, 5R, you bite your ass, but at least you paid yourself. And if this happens, you're not biting yours too much because at least you paid yourself. But obviously, if this happens, okay, you have 1 risk more. So it's 0.5 risk more because you closed 50% already. Okay. Was it worth the struggle? I don't know, but maybe you like this more, right? So if you want to trade aggressive targets, at least switch it up with the partialing on the passive way first and then hold the rest for the aggressive one, okay? And then obviously we'll see how easier that is. How does it look like in practice though? Right, so, for forget about those two things. I messed up with the animation here. Doesn't matter, right? So if you look at this juicy day in here, we just broke down earlier for simplicity approach, right, on the M1, right? So our first entry was in here. So minimum target, medium target, maximum target. Where would they be? Minimum target, again, aim for the, and now we're basing everything on the aggressive way, okay, just to make it more clear. Because, there we go. First, minimum target, it would be here. But you already see it doesn't really make too much sense. It would be a one-to-one trade. So this is not an option here, right? So no minimum target in here. So maybe medium target, but medium target is technically, again, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5 quadruple top in here. It's a logical target, but it's still, 1 to 1.5, not really that worth it. So again, in this case, your maximum target would come in place, and that would of course be Asia high in here. That's the only logical target in here, because again, you will not place a 1-to-1, you will not place a 1 to 1.5 as well. So you have to trade your maximum target in here. Or again, if you trade the passive way, you already see it in here anyways, would be probably the extreme mitigation, right? Again, you should not want to price to react from there, but again, it technically does. And again, you don't have to freak out if price pulls back and gives the fake reaction, then takes your take profit. Again, maybe again, you close it here fully with the 1 point, whatever it is, right? 1, 2, whatever it is, right? And then don't freak out if a false reaction happens in here, right? So the next trade would be this one in here. Same thing. Minimum 1. Right, so again, this one is a passive one in this scenario, and the aggressive one would be up here. Again, it's usually a 1-to-1. It's not really what you should do, right? Again, this is technically still the medium, the minor target, right? Then the medium one, oh, that's why they're like this, right? Because again, you don't really have a minor one, because again, this relevant breakup structure doesn't make too much sense. So that's why you have to make a passive one, because the medium one is obviously you have nothing really to the left. So again, you need to base it somewhere. And the maximum is, of course, still Asia range high, right? So that's again why you stick to the maximum one as well, because the medium and the minor one doesn't make too much sense in here. Right? Why is these all targets in here? Because again, you're just trading in the middle of Asia range, wrong timing of price, right? You don't want to aim randomly at like a 4-hour high if you just trade out of Asia range, because you're expecting the London Cup trade anyways, right? Next trade, the EDM trade in here, same thing, right? Where's your minor one in here? Right, same thing as we had in here. We don't really have anything to left we could base a target on, so the minor one has to be the passive one with the mitigation. Right, again, if you're not sure if this pulls back and makes this, okay, here's your 1 to 2 mitigation target, passive one. Right, better target would be again the 1, 2, 3 highs, exactly as we had in here. But again, in this scenario, you could argue it because it's a 1, 2, 3. In this scenario, it doesn't make sense, right? But you see, if you're not sure, place the medium one in here, but again, it should be pretty clear what happens in this one. Boom. Maximum 1, Asia range high once again. And now we finally have our London Open Cup trade, taking out all the liquidity, taking out Asia range high, right? And obviously we can prepare for the reversal. Then when we got our relevant breakup structure in here, and we got our let entry in here, obviously this let entry was before the relevant breakup structure, so we have this relevant breakup structure in here, pulls back, boom. It's not a let in here, so the let entry would be all the way down in here, right? After the relevant breakup structure, the original red entry would be up here, as we discussed earlier, right? Same thing though. If you take this trade, the first extreme mitigation trade after the equal high, equal lows, or the relevant breakup structure, depending on how you see it. I'm not sure if there's a wick or no. Right, my old eyes don't see shit. Right, then same thing. You have a minor target, which again, from going out from your entry, look to the left. Next relevant breakup structure point would be in here, and that's already minimum. If again you choose the aggressive route, if you're not sure about, oh, maybe this goes higher, then guess what? You place your passive take profit in here. If you trade the minimum target, right? Again, that's your minimum passive, that's your minimum aggressive, right? But the better one, of course, is the medium one. Medium one should be logically be Asia low. But then if you look at the overall picture, you see it in here. What do you have to the left as well? A juicy Asia low target, and this whole thing was just a build up in here. So next liquidity point is obviously the Asia low in here. There's not really any other liquidity zones in here. It's all the build up, and we already snatched this one with the medium one anyways, right? So next target would be the maximum target, and that is in this scenario the previous day's Asia low, right? And that's why, again, you can now decide, okay, do I want to place this aggressive target in here, this medium one, or am I not sure and I place whatever, the mitigation target in here, the passive one, or same thing, you choose the aggressive maximum one, which in this case would be a very good one, or if you're not sure, you can place the maximum passive one and maybe aim for a zone like this for potential mitigation. Let's say you're just afraid that maybe it didn't take out a previous Asia low. Again, just for the target wise, aim for the next supply demand area and take it off in here if you're not sure if it should take an inducement. Easy, okay? So minor, medium, and maximum target. Next trade, same exact one for this trade in here, right? So this one comes from the second let after the Renberg structure. Where would be the minor one in here? Minor one would be this one, right? Coming from this entry, you look to the left, right? And then obviously this would be the next minor target. Aggressive one, this would be the passive one, right? So the medium one doesn't really change too much, as same thing as before. Should be Asia low, right? If again, you want to trade the passive one, here's your last supply demand. But again, for Asia range lows and highs, I would not recommend the passive ones because 9 out of 10 times they just get smoked, right? So then obviously maximum one, same exact as we had before. If you want to trade the passive one, same thing, use the supply demand areas from these areas. Next trade we had would be the buy after now our medium inducement of the relevant structures, right? And after we having our let trade and New York open time window. Here's New York trap. That has to be New York open. Got confused earlier, right? Anyways, so that's your New York open trade with the let of the relevant structure of the medium inducement, right? Same thing. Where should be our targets? Minor one, aggressive one, next relevant structure. Right, this is not the relevant structure, as again the push comes from here to here. This is just a pullback, which did not make a new low. So this is not your relevant structure. This is, right, because this push made the low. Perfect. So this is your minimum aggressive one. Your minimum passive one would be in here. Again, if you're not sure if it should get taken out, 1, 2, 3 trade. Okay, and then we'll take it out in here, 1, 2, 3 point whatever, or maybe even 1, 2, 2.5 in here. Right, but that's your minimum aggressive target in here, and there would be the next medium aggressive target. The next medium aggressive target would be just this little structure point here, because again the next point is Asia range low, or even all the way up here, right? But it's more like your maximum target, right? So medium one, maximum one, medium one, minor one, right? So again, this is your aggressive one, taking out this point. Your passive one would be the mitigation of this one. Okay. Then next trade, maximum target, again, Asia range low, right? Again, you technically could also aim for these areas, right? But this is your best maximum target, to aim for next Asia low, because you're coming away from a perfect cup trade cycle and you don't really want to take this out at this specific point, especially just having already such crazy price movement already in one day. You don't expect really to whipsaw the whole thing in the same day as well, right? So the next maximum target after like a very big move like this is just the next Asia low or Asia midline, right? So then coming off of this inducement trade in here after the relevant breaker structure, after price induced structure, and taps into the extreme mitigation, right? Same thing. There's our targets, minor one. And this one is a little bit of a tricky one, as you don't really have too much to the left, right? So just choose this one for minor break in here. This one, I'm not sure. Again, you should choose the minor one in here and not like this next one in here, right? Then the medium one would be the next medium one, obviously, right? Same thing. If you want to trade the passive medium one, here's your target in this range, right? So apply them on areas. And then the maximum one, obviously, is the lows overall, right? But I would not aim for the maximum in these areas, as again, this technically was already the inducement, and we just ended up inducing the inducement where you don't expect that. So your best bet is the medium one in here, right? Then we don't really have any opportunities in here. All the way in here, though, we had another sell coming off these equal lows, right? So again, same thing. Also gives us our entry with the let confirmation. And our minimum target is this point in here. Again, 1-to-1, not really relevant at all. Again, it's just a minor one. So the minor one is going out of the picture. Medium one makes most sense in here, right? Again, if you're not sure, trade the passive one, but then it's also just a 1 to 2.5, not really worth it too much, right? And then the maximum would be down here. After we took out the inducement, again, the only opportunity in here, relevant breaker structure after. Again, if you really want to trade aggressive, this one would be a possibility. But yeah, there's not too much confluences in here, not even timing too much. It's a little bit of trap time. So yeah, it's not shame to stay out of this one. I know a few of you guys will take it, but yeah, better to just wait until what? Relevant breaker structure. Speed obviously pulls back, another build up into inducement, into mitigation. There's your let entry away from the medium inducement, which induced the medium inducement, funnily enough, right? So, but now we have this perfect build up into inducement, into mitigation, let entry, this trade in here, choosy. Where should we target? Minor one, next relevant breaker structure, right? Or technically this one, but this one is better. Again, this is the relevant breaker structure of the inducement. This is now the relevant breaker structure of this structure, right? Because the inducement is from here to here, and this obviously is the relevant breaker structure of the inducement. But this one is the point that made this new lows in here still, right? This one did not make a new low. So this one technically is still the overall relevant breaker structure point, and we target for this as the minor one. Again, if you passive one in here, right? For the medium one, taking out this next medium structure point. If you're choosing the passive one, you're using the mitigation target in here, right? But obviously you expect it to be taken out. But again, nothing wrong with targeting the mitigation. Then the maximum one, as we talked earlier, best scenario, you are a target for Asia low, right? If you want to trade the maximum one and don't expect the same day to take out this high again, right after we had a perfect cup trade and then obviously this huge price move in here, right? So then the next trade we had is this, another one we had again, technically coming off this inducement, makes this relevant breaker structure in here, comes again, trades the order flow in here, perfect. Technically also let, but we already had our let, so not too fussed about this one. But if you take this one instead, it's technically very similar, right? So now though, as you already had the relevant breaker structure, you have to look to the left. Here's your next minimum target. If you use the next minimum passive target, it's in here, right? Medium target is pretty similar, right? And then maximum target is also similar. If you trade the EDM trade in here, right, the minimum target would be again next relevant breaker structure in here. Medium one is above the next high to the left, and then maximum, same thing, Asia low in this scenario, not aiming to the fences at all, right? It's all good trades. Look at the risk reward, they're all very, very good trades. Next one would be the EDM after this one. Why is this EDM also possible? Build up, inducement low, reaction out of it, build up, induced high to go into the mitigation. Perfect. Also another EDM. Boom. Take it, right? So if you take this EDM trade of the inducement build up cycle, right? Minimum target in here makes the new Roman structure, right? Baby target in here, new target, aggressive target, obviously, to take it out. If you're not sure, trade the mitigation. And next target, same thing. Maximum one should be Asia range because it's getting late in the day anyways. Plus also we had even London close confirmation for this trade to obviously mitigate and then go higher. Perfect. Right. Then last trade or second last trade of the day. Right. Then we finally hit our Asia range. Obviously we had this huge build up. We had this somehow vector candles in here. Right. And then obviously relevant break of structure in here pulls back. Also relevant break of structure in here. Right. But obviously the first one is down and up in here. Build up, inducement, goes higher, takes out the liquidity high, right? Relevant break of structure in here, comes back, builds liquidity into mitigation, boom, take it, right? Very, very late trade of the day. If you don't like this one, it's completely fine. Then you can wait for what? New relevant break of structure in here, coming off this inducement, obviously, making this relevant break of structure into mitigation, into this. Let entry, once again, coming off the cycle, but first let's look at this one, which is shown. Minimum target, 1 to 2. Medium target, again, would be this one. If you trade the passive one, trade in here, right? That's exactly a good example. Just taps in here, gives a fake reaction, maybe getting freaked out, right? It's not really worth it for, what is it? Not even one risk more to you getting freaked out, right? And then maximum one should be maximum this one, right? Because again, you don't expect a medium inducement of the inducement gets taken out right away already, right? That's not should happen that late in the day. So your maximum target should be at maximum this one in here, right? Same thing for this trade. Is one way nicer though with the let confirmation after another break of structure, right? Minimum target is in here, right? 1 to 2, medium one, same exact thing, and maximum also same exact thing. So why do we show you these targets and why they're so essential? So it doesn't happen like this to you, right? So you placing a rest of maximum target, boom, market takes you out and break even instead, right, of your 1 to 50. That should not happen to you ever, right? So be careful with this aggressive target plays, mix it with the passive place, right? And always keep this GIF in here in mind. You should never ever get a break even after like a 1 to 10. Again, passive targets are definitely a very, very good way to minimum like at least partial out of your position, if not even better, to keep you out of a lot of stress situations where you just have a target below a zone and then price pulls back and you just freak out because your target did not get missed by 1 or 2 risks. It's not worth it, right? So mix it up with the passive targets as well for much more calmness trading. And yeah, keep that GIF in mind, have fun and keep it safe.